Good afternoon. You're watching PA Harness Week, and I'm Shalra McBride. Well, racing is back here at Harrah's Philadelphia this week, and as the weather gets a little colder, the racing action is just beginning to heat up. We've got races from down south in Kentucky all the way up to the Poconos and everywhere in between. We've got you covered on PA Harness Week. Racing is back here at Harrah's Philadelphia, and we have a fantastic finish to show you. And at Pocono, the top drivers compete in the PA Drivers Challenge. We'll also head to the Red Mile for the Kentucky Futurity. What a weekend of racing in the Bluegrass State. Racing's fastest paced half hour begins right now on Comcast Sportsnet.
There they go.
Explosive Matter wins the Colonial easily.
Underway.
Starting fast outside here is Brent Messenger to the early. 5 for the halftime. Just over 3 to go. At the top of the stretch.
Well, take a look, Heather. Look who's out there. It's the harness racing starved generation. Those who love racing here on the Delaware at Harrah's Philadelphia and have been jonesing for the racing to come back and have been going through somewhat of a withdrawal. But now they're back. That's right, in full vigor and going right on through December 21st, almost through the end of the year.
Wow.
How about that? We have the 9th from Sunday as Harrah's Philly is back, and Heather's got that bad boy for you.
All right, number 1 in here is Release the Terror. He's the favorite. Won this class several times this meet. Number 5 is Gizmo Hanover. Been racing at the Pocono, but of course he's returned now to Harrah's. And, you know, he's back here, and that's where he won his most recent win. Oh, you like when I bobble my words, right? That's why you're laughing. Okay. But I'm not a bobblehead doll. All right, number 7 is Big Time Rush. You know who Big Time Rush is?
Yeah.
All right. Do you really?
No.
Okay. A boy band on Nickelodeon. I love that show.
Irrelevant.
I just heard of it. Yeah. Let's watch the race.
6.5 lengths front to back, 3/4 in 124 and 3. They stack up for the sprint home, but Gizmo Hanover maintains his length and 3/4 advantage. Big Time Rush holds second spot, nothing more. From Slippery Sam, flyaways in the blue blinkers, and carried wide, we're ahead of the barn and Release the Terror down to the final 16th. Gizmo Hanover fully extended. Big Time Rush being driven to try to chase him down. Up to the line, Big Time Rush late on the scene, head of the barn. Gizmo Hanover digging in photo.
Gizmo Hanover goes from wire to wire, and it looked like he was going to win like easy breezy, right? But Big Time Rush comes up with a rush at 17-1.
Limbaugh?
Nice one. Gizmo Hanover does hang on, but just by a neck, and 154-2 with George Napolitano in this super close. We need like a microscope to figure out how to get between these two horses kind of photo finish, okay? Super close, just by a neck. Big Time Rush was second. Rounding out the trifecta was head of the barn.
You know, there's all kinds of trainers in this business. Some tend to be more quiet, some to be a little more gregarious, and we have one of the more gregarious trainers around. His name is Kevin McDermott, and our Shalra McBride caught up with him.
Kevin, you've done this for many, many years now. What got you first started in this?
I actually used to go to the races with my dad when I was young, and then I became pen pals with Stanley Dancer and Hervé Filion, Jim Doherty, and I grew up near the Meadowlands, and they'd invite me over there on weekends, and I've been doing it ever since.
Have you ever thought of doing anything else in your life?
I worked at Roy Rogers for 3 days. That's about it.
Now, I want to know the story behind the horse Mac Action.
Mac Action was a 5-claimer that we had claimed, and he went on to win the Titan Cup. He went down to Harrington. No horse had ever beat 2 minutes. He won in 56 down there. He was a pet. We had him up until this year. We kept him just as a pet, and he shattered his shoulder in the field this year. It's tougher than losing a family member. He was an absolute pet, and I loved him to death.
Now, you had, on a better note, you had the privilege of training Hypnotic Blue Chick, one of the fastest horses in the world. When did you know that you had something special with that horse?
I think he was always a good horse. I think, you know, the day that he went in 47 at the Meadowlands, set the world record, I did everything but take my clothes off, run up and down the winner's circle. You know, had a great time that day. And, you know, I still have him. He's like a kid to me. He really is. I live with him. I travel everywhere on the road with him. And he's just special. He's a really, really special horse.
Having so much success in this sport.
Come on, you can join us. Come on, you can join us.
You've had so much success in this sport. Is there one memory or one moment that really stands out?
I would have to say it would be, yes, it's true, winning the Classic final. She had set a world record that day, and Hypnotic Blue Chip that day was very, very special to me.
How many more years do you see yourself doing this?
My blood pressure prohibits it forever, but I love what I do. I always say I never worked a day in my life. You know, putting up with help and stuff sometimes are trouble, but she's okay. She loves me. But I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I love the sport.
I think you have to love it if you let the horse nibble on your ear like that.
If you want to nibble on my ear, you can too.
All right, things are getting racy. We're going to send it back to you guys.
Time for some big-time racing in the Bluegrass State. Let's go to Lexington, specifically the Red Mile, and we had a couple of limbs for the Kentucky Futurity. Lots of money and lots of prestige on the line for 3-year-old trotting colts, and here goes. Number 1, Little Brown Fox, a second cousin to Little Brown Jug, was 3-5 with Yannick Gingras and got a perfect 2-hole trip behind pace setter number 5, Archangel, first cousin to that noted foot fetishist and part-time trotter Arch Madness, off a 2-1 with Tim Tetrick, but couldn't beat the speed. Archangel won at a length in 153.1. Little Brown Fox settled for second. Another amaretto, which is always a good idea unless you have a drinking problem. A 9-1 shot with Andy Miller was third.
In the second elimination, number 7, Guccio, looked like the one to beat, coming off an impressive mile the week before at the Red Mile. But at the wire was my MVP, winning the photo over Appomattox. Money on My Mind was third. Banker Bolo was fourth. Guccio took fifth, but then he scratched out of the second heat.
Okay, now you went to Lexington. You were down there at the Red Mile. Now, tell the truth to our fans out there. Were you screaming like a mental patient when Iron Mike LaChance, your guy, won that second heat? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That perfectly sets up the final, and this was going to be a goodie, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, Archangel was the 8-5 chalk with Timmy Tetrick. Number 2, your MVP with Mike LaChance was 2-1, and number 3, Little Brown Fox was 3-1 with Yannick Gingras, and with the exciting call, Sam McKee.
Well-rated Archangel leads the way. Money on My Mind sits in behind him. First over is My MVP is coming on. Up into the second spot, just off the leader's wheel. Little Brown Fox second up on the outside. Just 3 lengths from the lead. Locked in on the inside as they head around the turn as Appomattox comes on third over there. Trapped in on the inside is another Amaretto. As they trot to the 3/4 marker, Archangel is still a length in front, and he reaches 3/4 in 1:25.3. They come to the top of the stretch. Archangel leads the way. My MVP hanging in there first over. Little Brown Fox trying to kick off his cover. Money on My Mind looking for some racing room. My MVP alongside Archangel. My MVP takes the lead. Money on My Mind. Another Amaretto blocked. Appomattox on the outside. My MVP is almost there. My MVP and Mike LaChance win the Kentucky Futurity.
All right, Archangel set the pace before LaChance right-lined MVP and set sail for the lead. Archangel hung him for a while, but MVP cleared, and when he did, he won at a length over the fast-closing Appomattox, off at 6-1 with Scott Zeron. Another Amaretto, a 40-1 shot with Jim Morrill Jr. got third, and despite a perfect second over trip, Little Brown Fox was spaghetti, and Archangel finished 7th, folded up like a cheap suit.
Here's an interesting fact about my MVP. You know, in the Kentucky Futurity, he raced with no-back shoes. You know, most horses race with shoes on all 4 feet because sometimes trainers like it to have their trotters a little heavier in the front, makes them trot a little bit better. So for the Kentucky Futurity, my MVP, he only had shoes on his front feet.
I'd have been more impressed if he was wearing high heels in the back. Like 4-inch stilettos?
Only I can run like that, okay? All right, leave that up to me.
Stay with us when we come back. We're going to go up to Pocono. What's going on up there? Only the annual Pennsylvania Drivers Challenge, featuring the best from the Meadows and Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs. So naturally, you won't want to miss that. Stay where you are.
Wide move there by Sniper Sealster and Joe Pavia Jr. NF quotable got him.
Why do so many winners travel in EB trailers? They love the ride. EB Pacesetter trailers deliver your horses in peak condition, ready to race every time. Designed to provide safe and comfortable transport for standard-bred racehorses, EB's Pacesetter Series trailers are the preferred choice of professional standard-bred trainers and breeders nationwide. All EB Pacesetter models feature custom standard bred options and excellent airflow and aligned interior sealing to keep your horses fresh and comfortable. Every EB trailer has commercial quality componentry and riveted sidewall construction engineered and designed to stand up to constant and rigorous horse and road use. And a sleek aerodynamic nose design that also delivers improved fuel savings. More winners ride with EB than any other trailer. EB, setting the pace in standard bred horse transportation.
Welcome, good old Sunday. No love when you don't come. Welcome, son, welcome, welcome. Welcome to your place in the sun. Welcome to your place in the sun.
Hello there, harness racing fans, and welcome back to beautiful Harrah's, Philadelphia, which is in full vigor and back in action right on through December 21st. Did I get all that right, babe?
You did.
Thank you. I like being right and being sure that I was right. Okay, back to the action. As we promised before, the Pennsylvania Drivers' Challenge took place at Mohegan Sun and Pocono Downs. The best of the Meadows drivers and the best of Mohegan Sun and Pocono Downs drivers. And with the first one, race 11, here's Heather.
Right, it was a claiming $20,000 Pacers. Number 2 is Oyster Bay. Now, he's the 4-5 favorite, super hot right now. He's had 3 wins in a row coming into this one, and he's coming off a lifetime mark. Number 3 is Sniper Sealster. Second choice, claim last start, new to the Paul Holtzman stable. And number 4 is Lock, Load, and Explode. He was second last time out in this class.
Slight edge there for Great Soul in from Yonkers, but the pressure being applied by Stand Up and Kiss Me and Mike Wilder, and those two in tandem now pacing through the front stretch. Oyster Bay looking for his 4th straight win, is in a good spot third here. 3 wide move there by Sniper Sealster, and Joe Pavia Jr. zipped right on by Western Artwork. Lock, Load, and Explode is inside 6th. Haji has joined the outer flow, and also back there is Itchy Pickles and Indescribable. The half 54-4, 28-1 second panel. We've seen scorching fractions all night long. Great Soul dispensed with the challenge of Stand Up and Kiss Me, but he's ripe for Oyster Bay, who pulls the pocket now and goes after him at 5/8. In behind that, Lock, Load, and Explode into third as Great Soul gives up the ghost here. Also coming up on the outside, Sniper Sealster, Itchy Pickles, and Haji from far back. 3/4, 122-2, 27-4 on the back. Oyster Bay has the lead. Lock, Load, and Explode trying to get to him now. Moving on the outside into third is Haji with Sniper Sealster 4th. Around the turn to the top of the stretch, and Oyster Bay has the lead. Lock, Load, and Explode chasing on the outside now. Oyster Bay digging in. Lock, Load, and Explode trying to get to him. It's tight to the line. It is Oyster Bay.
Great Soul set off the first couple of mile markers, but Oyster Bay with Matt Kakaley in the bike took over by the 3/4 marker and did not let go. Oyster Bay wins by a head in 151-1. Lock, Load, and Explode was pacing home super fast. Just
Exploded in the stretch?
He did very nice. Wow, that was genius. He ran out of racetrack though, had to settle for second. Hagee was third.
Okay, here's the deal. In this second year in a row, Brett Miller won this bad boy. He representing the Meadows. He won it with 184 points. Georgie Knapp finished second with 145 points and 2 wins. Mike Wilder from the Meadows was third, 135 points and 1 victory. For Pocono, Tyler Buter, 132 points and 1 win. Matt Kakaley, 92 points, 1 win. Joe Pavia Jr., 66 points. Tom Jackson, 44 points from the Meadows. Aaron Merriman, your guy, 129 points, 2 wins. And Tony Hall, 63 points. And
let me just say something. Aaron Merriman, one of the most generous people in the entire world. It would have been nice if he would have won it. Aaron would have donated it all to charity. Just want to put that out there.
Okay, now we go to our Kelly Connors, who caught up with the winner, Brett Miller, for the 2nd year in a row.
Thanks, guys. We're here with Brett Miller, just kicking butt and taking names at Pocono, winning the Battle of PA driving competition. Brett, this is 2 years in a row for you. Doing pretty good, huh?
Yeah, this has been all right here. I've been in a lot of drivers' challenges, and actually I've never done that well. And to win it 2 years in a row here, I want to keep coming back here.
Talk to us about how you prepared for a horse that you have never been behind before.
You know, well, this track is such a speed track, and you know, it always feels like you need to get away up close here. So really, you know, after being in this last year, my whole strategy tonight was to try to go forward with every horse that I was driving, to try to get away up close. And you know what? Early in the card, it really worked out.
What is it like to be a part of a competition like this? You're in the top caliber of horsemen out at the Meadows and going up against the top guys here at Pocono. Any trash talking?
You know what? It's more trash talking between the Meadows guys, between ourselves, than you know, the Pocono guys against the Meadows guys. But you know what? You know, it's a lot of fun, and you know, it goes to a good cause, and it's you know, it's a good time.
Yeah, talk to us about what it's like to be a part of an event that raises money for such a worthy cause, and to be able to give back to the community.
Yeah, exactly. You know, everybody gives 10% of the money, so I'm not sure exactly how much that is when it's all said and done, but I know it's a good chunk of change, and you know, it feels great to be able to do something like that.
That's wonderful. Well, we will hopefully see Brett Miller back here at the Pocono Oval in 2013 to defend his title. Congratulations and good luck, Brett.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Don't dare think about going anyplace, but when we come back, we're going to have Kelly's picks and more hot action from the Red Mile. Stay where you are.
And Market Share is gaining ground on the outside and goes right on by.
Welcome, good old Sunday. No love when you don't come. Welcome, son, welcome, welcome. Welcome to your place in the sun. Welcome to your place in the sun.
Hi, and welcome back to PA Harness Week, along with the lovely Heather Moffett, Miss Queen of Harness Racing. I'm just plain old Steve Ross, here with you, and we're going to go now back to the Red Mile as promised. The second race was an early closer, but there was a big horse, a big hoss. I'm talking huge hoss. Market Share, and Heather's got that for you.
Well, physically, I don't think he's that big,
No.
but yeah, he's a huge name. And speaking of the Queen of Harness Racing, not me. I would say the trainer of this horse that I'm going to talk about right now, she is the queen, Linda Toscano. Yes, okay, so it's
Good to be Linda Toscano.
Yes, it is. All right, number one is Market Share. He's like the daddy of the favorites on this card. Okay, 5 cents on the buck. What's that? You're the odds man. 1 to 20 odds?
Yep.
Is that right? Okay, there we go. Now, do you wonder why? Well, he's only won like a couple $1 million races this year, including the Hambletonian. He was not eligible to the Kentucky Futurity, so they're just using this late closer as like a tightener to get ready for Breeders' Crown in a couple weeks in Canada.
But here comes Market Share, and Tetrick tips him to the outside from the third spot with 2.5 lengths to make up on the lead. Prayer Session sits tight in the 2-hole there. Il Mago gaps away a bit in fourth as they come through the 3/4 marker in 1:23 3, and the field comes to the top of the stretch, and Market Share is gaining ground on the outside and goes right on by. It's Market Share, the Hambletonian champion for Tetrick, starting to edge away from the field. Prayer Session now moving out of the pocket into second. Lightning Storm third. Il Mago a distant fourth. It is Market Share. He is wrapped up, and he is home free, and Market Share wins it 3.5 on the line.
If they were using this as a tightener for Breeders' Crown, I would pretty much say that they got the job done, all right?
He's tight?
He is tight. Lifetime best of 1:15.3 with Tim Tetrick in the bike. That is a huge mile, a gigantic mile. All right, 3/4 in 1:23.3. Market Share out and rolling, took command by the stretch. Now, Prayer Session rallied and did finish second. Lightning Storm finished third. We caught up with winning driver Tim Tetrick about this amazing trotter.
You know, he did it real handy. I never took my whip off my shoulder the whole race, and you know, he really come to the wire strong, and you know, got him a really nice record for a 3-year-old trotter, and you know, he's just been phenomenal. And it seems like every start he gets better and better and better.
Have you gotten to the bottom of him yet?
No.
Have you asked him?
I mean, I've raced him, in the Hamiltonian. He had to give all he could get, but, since then he's found another second and a half, and, so that's pretty amazing on the horse's part to, at the end of the season, he seems stronger than he was at the beginning.
Thanks much, Timmy. Okay, time to go back to the Red Mile. Boy, was there a heat going on the other day. The Tattersall's Pace traditionally draws the best 3-year-old pacers on the planet, and this year was no exception. Here's a rarity. There was 12 horses in the field. Now, I'm not talking about an assortment of manes and tails. I'm talking about the best 3-year-old pacing talent on the planet, okay? Number 11, Thinking Out Loud, you may recall, won the North America Cup. With John Campbell was the 5-2 chalk. Number 5, Sweet Lou, with the Palone Ranger drives again, second choice. And number 12, also in the second tier, a rock and roll dance who you may recall won the Meadowlands Pace. This is the kind of talent in this race. He was 7-2 with Yang Jinghua, and with a call, Sam McKee.
Better's Edge up alongside of Bolt the Doer, and Better's Edge pokes ahead in front. Sweet Lou is now following up on the outside, and he's going to be left first over. Hillbilly Hanover's out to follow him. The half in 52-4, and they wheel onto the far turn. And Sweet Lou is coming up alongside of Better's Edge, and Sweet Lou pokes ahead in front with 3/8 to go. Hillbilly Hanover gapping his cover slightly on the outside. Bolt the Doer is back racing in fourth. Simply Business back on the outside in fifth. Thinking Out Loud is jammed in. A rock and roll dance is seventh on the outside. He's about 7 lengths from the lead right now. And Sweet Lou trying to get around Better's Edge. They hit 3/4 in 1:20 flat, and it's Sweet Lou at the top of the stretch who leads it. Sweet Lou with a short advantage. Hillbilly Hanover trying to kick by on the outside. Better's Edge battling back at the rail. Mel Mera is now fourth on the outside. Sweet Lou desperate with the lead. Hillbilly Hanover looking for a shocker. It's Sweet Lou. Hillbilly Hanover on the outside. These two, Sweet Lou guts it out to win it.
Shock of all shocks. Ron Burke finished 1-2 in a 12-horse field. Wow, do you believe that? That is unbelievable. Burn my britches. Sweet Lou won at beating number 2, Hillbilly Hanover, 20-1 shot with Jim Morrill Jr. by a head in 148-1. Number 1, Better's Edge, off at 7-1 with Dave Miller, was 2 back in third. I need a break. I need Kelly's picks. Kelly, make us some money.
Thanks, Heather and Steve. Well, tonight on Pocono's card, we have 2 really big races, each carrying a purse of $25,000, one for each gate. And we'll start with the Pacers in race number 10. I like the 6-horse Hypnotic Blue Chip. He is one of the classiest and fastest in the field. When last seen 2 weeks ago at this level here at Pocono, he was just nosed out in a fast-moving mile. But something I really saw that impressed me was his last start at Batavia in an Invitational. He made a break at the half, ended up recovering and almost winning it all. But alas, yet again, he was just nosed out at the wire. I'm thinking there isn't a whole lot of early speed to his inside, so if he's kindly rated or gets a good trip, he could maybe hypnotize the field here in race number 10. Hypnotic Blue Chip, 6, 5, 1, and 7, my picks in there. Moving on to the trotters in race number 12, I like the 3, Zooming. This 4-year-old trotter makes the move from Team Miller to Team Buter. The Barn of Amber Buter is on fire right now, and so is Zooming. He was a decisive winner in a career best time last week of 52-3. He draws well, steps up again tonight, but I can't overlook the 7-horse Tui. She is my girl, my favorite trotter on the property right now. Again, she draws outside, but she has been packing a powerful punch, going up against the boys each and every week, also moving up in class and delivering for Don Weiss, so she gets my vote in here. Boxing the 3 and 7, race 12. Hopefully they bring you luck and some money.
Thank you, Kelly. I'm all over that stuff. Okay, stay with us when we come back. We're going to go back to the Red Mile again and the all-orange pace for free-for-all pacing count you would not believe. Stay with us.
Mohegan Sun, off-track wagering. Allentown, Carbondale, East Stroudsburg. Always leave happy.
Hi there, there, and welcome back to PA Harness Week. She's Heather Moffett. I'm Steve Ross. You know who you are. And the Aller Farms pace, boy, this was a goodie. Nothing but the creme de la creme, the older pacing talent. You are going to absolutely be chewing on your paws. Believe me. Here's Heather with that one.
Wow. All right. Yes. Now, there's a couple co-favorites in here. Number 8 is Foiled Again, and then number 4, Golden Receiver. Now, Foiled Again, of course, the richest pacer in North American harness racing history.
Who trains him?
Ron Burke. All right, and then number 4 is Golden Receiver. Now, he won the U.S. Pacing Championship this year, also won the Houghton, the Presidential. So these are the 2 horses that everybody seems to be watching. But number 5 is Better Sweet. He was second to Foiled Again recently. He was also second to Golden Receiver recently. So he's really been knocking on everybody's door.
Golden Receiver reaches the half-mile marker in 54 seconds flat. Better Sweet is riding up to his wheel on the outside as they enter the far turn. We will see his jam to the box right now. Harrah Hanover is well spotted, second over with 3/8 to go. Foiled Again, third over. All That Glitters is gold pinned on the pylons. Foreclosure is fourth over, and St. Elmo Hero trails the field. Golden Receiver is still in front. Better Sweet is right at his throat on the outside, and they're stride for stride. 3/4 on the board in 1:22 flat, and Better Sweet is grinding down Golden Receiver, and Better Sweet is taking the lead with 1/8 of a mile to go. Harrah Hanover tries to kick off cover, trying to find racing room as we will see, and Foiled Again is there on the outside. It's Better Sweet as they head down to the finish. Harrah Hanover on the outside. Better Sweet is almost there, and Better Sweet wins the All-Around.
Golden Receiver was leading the way around the red mile, while Better Sweet came first up, brushed to the front in the stretch. He was able to hold off Harrah Hanover at the wire. Better Sweet pays 1040. Okay, wins in 148-1. By the way, okay, Better Sweet has made almost 288 grand this year. This was his first win of 2012, and he's won all that money, right?
It's good to be the king.
Yes, it is. It's good to be Better Sweet. Foiled Again, very close. He was third. This is such a cute quote. Okay, the owner, John Cancelleri, he says he'll kick, he'll shake his head at you, he'll try to bite you, and I promised Better Sweet after the race, if he won, I would let him bite me. So I thought that was an adorable quote. We caught up with the winning driver, David Miller, on this great race.
David, that was a bold move. You drove him like the favorite. You obviously had a lot more confidence in him than the bettors did.
Well, yeah, you know, I did have a little bit of insight to him there. He scored down very good, but they had told me that the horse had trained really sharp the week before, and he just felt like it. And the red mile, you can do that. You can live on the outside a little longer. And when I moved, I only went 28 the third quarter. We just kind of rode out there, and then he sprinted home.
The Breeders' Crown is coming up, and he's really coming into the zone, so you have to be super psyched about the big race coming.
Yeah, I am excited about the Breeders' because he does seem to come in the race in good shape. He raced real well there in Canada earlier this year. He was third in the Canadian Pacing Derby, and like I said, he's coming in the race in good shape. Hopefully he can hold his form for 2 more weeks.
All right, well, congratulations, and thanks for being on the show.
Thanks.
Thank you, David, and we are just pleased and proud as punch to be back here at Harrah's, Philadelphia, for racing essentially almost through the end of the year. December 21st, racing days, you know this by now, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Come out early, come out often, we're always here for you, okay? And for all of us here at PA Harness Week, including Bruce Casella, my partner Heather Moffett, I'm Steve Ross, reminding you guys to get high on harness.
It's only natural.
Explosive Matter wins the Colonial easily.
Underway. Starting fast outside here.